The topic in this video is an interesting one because it came out of conversations that we've been having with people in our community who wanted to know what I've been withholding from them. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the number one secret after 15 years in this business that I know that you probably don't. The secret that I know that you guys don't is that there isn't any secret. There's just people who will and people who won't. People who will get the support that they need and people who won't. People who will take the action that they need and people who won't. There really isn't any secret out there. But the reason that we think there is, I think there's a couple of reasons that we think there are secrets. I think number one is because we keep hearing about them. I mean, I put it in this headline. The reason that we put it in this headline is because it works. Marketers do what works. Marketers spend a lot of money figuring out what people will click on. And so we live in a world of clickbait, but we can't get mad at the people that are laying the clickbait because they're only putting out what works. They're not just guessing what people are going to click on. They're putting out images or they're putting out words and phrases, and then they see what works. They see what people actually click on, and then they use that. And secret is one of the most profitable, front-end profitable words in marketing. And so one of the reasons that we believe there are secrets is because we keep being told there are secrets. But one of the reasons that we keep being told there are secrets is because we keep chasing secrets. So it's this cycle that's happening, right? There's a supply of secrets, but only because there's a demand that we know the secrets. Now, the second reason I believe this is a problem is because the way our intellect works is that if we're not successful, we tend to think that we're missing information. That's the way the intellect works. The intellect works on information. The intellect thinks the right information is the way to become successful, which is not true. The right implementation of information. I'm not even going to say the right information. It's the right implementation of any information is the recipe towards success. But when we're not successful, it's because we're not implementing pretty much all the time. But the intellect goes, oh, well, it's because we don't have the right information. If we had the right information that caused us to feel confident, then we would take action. But that's also a fallacy. It's not the lack of information that causes us to not feel confident. Confidence is not even a feeling. It's a construct of the intellect saying we don't have the right information here because we're not positive that it's not going to fail in the future. And so we desire these secrets because we think that we have information problems. Nobody has an information problem. We have an implementation problem. But the way the unconscious mind, or the intellect at least, works is if we're not successful, then we must need better information. So I think those two things are what plays off of, or what play off of each other, being those two things being we think there's information that we're missing, so we just want to know the secrets. And because we want to know the secrets, they keep selling us secrets, and they use that exact same word. So it feeds off itself in a cycle like that. And the reality is, the truth is, there are no secrets in terms of information. I mean, there are certain things that people have, of course, they've been doing it for a long time. There are things that people specialize in that the rest of us might not know, but you can just get that information. This is more of a concept that I'm attacking here. Of course, there's information that not all of us have, and you can't always just type something into Google and get all the information. Like, we don't know what the algorithms are on some of the social media platforms. So I'm not saying there's no information that we don't have, but the concept here is what I want to attack. It's the desire that we think there must be secrets. And the truth is, in the coaching industry specifically, success is determined. If we do want to say there's a secret to success, the secret to success is the uncommon commitment to and implementation of common knowledge. It's the uncommon commitment to and implementation of common knowledge. So it's not that the successful people have information that the unsuccessful people don't. It's that the successful people act on it. And they act on it enough to learn from it. And therefore, they grow from it and adjust accordingly. And that's how progress is made in business, specifically in any journey where there's uncertainty. We got to take action, get the feedback from our action, make adjustments according to whether it produced what we wanted it to produce or not. And then we just keep doing that. But most people are stuck on, I don't have the right information because I don't feel confident now. And since I don't feel confident, I'm not going to take the action. And then you're done. Like that is the recipe to, I'm going to be blunt. That's the recipe to achieve nothing. That's the recipe to never, ever grow. It's the recipe to stay inside of our comfort zone, because our comfort zone and our safety zone have become one and the same. And so anything that's not 100% safe because we know it's going to work is dangerous. And therefore, everything outside of our comfort zone, which is where growth occurs, is dangerous. So the way most people are behaving is that growth equals danger. And that's why that we don't take action enough. We don't take action enough to learn. And we don't learn so that, or since we don't learn, then we can't grow, right? So we're stuck in this scenario where, because our unconscious mind actually desires shortcuts and it desires saving energy and saving money, it's tempted by the word secret. But because we have an implementation problem and we're just constantly being courted by the marketers using the word secret, it's like it's flirting with us. We're constantly being bombarded with this. Then we think, oh, well, if I'm not succeeding with the information I have, then I must find the next thing. I need to find the next thing that I don't currently have. And I think underneath that, one of the elements of human behavior and human desire is that we always want to be in the know, right? We always want to be a part of the smart group. Rather than be in the know with a K, we need to be in the know, just N-O. We need to be in the area where we're getting a lot of no's. We need to be in the area where our expectations are not being hit, because that's the only way to grow. We have an expectation, we fling it out into the future. And if those expectations are met, that means we don't change, because the expectation was thrown into the future from our current capacity to understand. So how can we grow beyond our current capacity if we keep hitting the expectations that are created inside of our current capacity? So what if we were committed to living in the know, no being N-O, no being in the failure zone? Because that's the only place that we can grow. That's the only place that we can learn, but it requires us to experience adversity, and most of us just don't like that. We want to avoid the failure. We want to avoid the rejection because we want to feel smart. We want to feel important. We want to feel successful. And somewhere along the line, we've been told that failure is the opposite of success. And it's not. Failure is a required ingredient to the recipe for success. These are not opposites. It's not you either fail or succeed. It's that you fail to succeed. It's the only way. And you've got to move through failure. And I'm putting in quotes because we don't have to take it on as though we, as a person, are the failures. It's just our attempt, our effort didn't produce what we expected it to, which is actually a good thing. The more that your expectations are met, the less you will grow. But yet most of us are trying to succeed with all of our expectations being met. And we want our expectations to be met so much that we ask other people if they can help us set the right expectations with the secrets. If you tell me the thing that I need that's going to guarantee the success, well, then maybe I can just jump over what's necessary and just jump right to the successful part, right? Most people are wanting to be successful, but they're not willing to become successful. So they just want to jump over the learning part. They want to jump over tearing the muscles down, but they want the muscles to be strong. There's only one way that these muscles get strong, whether they're mental muscles or emotional muscles or resiliency muscles or physical muscles. There's only one way that these muscles gain strength, and that's from getting torn down. It's from resistance. A muscle cannot grow without resistance. But yet we've learned along the way that when it comes to personal growth, when it comes to personal development, when it comes to healing, when it comes to building a business, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, that we should have resistance-less growth, which is it's just a fallacy. It never has occurred, and yet it's what almost all of us are demanding, right? We are literally demanding the impossible. We're demanding the impossible. And because we're demanding the impossible, we're searching for the unavailable. We're searching for the secrets. But the essence of the question, the essence of the search, this scavenger hunt that we've been sent on is flawed at its core. We've been sent to find a thing that doesn't exist. That's why when we find it, it doesn't work. And we can be sold that we're touching the thing because we've decided that it does exist. And so then all we need to do is find somebody that's willing to sell it to us because we've already determined that we need it and it does exist. So if they just have a good sales pitch, we'll probably buy it. And that's why we just stay floating all around the truth. And the truth is there are foundational principles that have never changed. And we tend to think that there's a way to hop over the foundational principles. What we found is that the reason that most people who want to be coaches are frustrated or are struggling or feel miserable and eventually quit, the reason that they have this negative experience is because of the resistance, whether it's an emotional resistance, it's a mental resistance, it's an outcome resistance, meaning what they expected to happen didn't happen. The reason that most people create this self-imposed misery is because of the very resistance that's required. So searching for these secrets actually embeds the inadequacy that most of us are running around with. It embeds the inadequacy that we're not good enough, therefore we need to find these secrets. And if we could just find the secrets, then we can outperform our inadequacies. I mean, think about that. If I could find the right thing to do so that I can always avoid the wrong thing, then I can outperform what my recipe, what my mentality, what my current capacity is commanding. We all have a recipe that we're following. That recipe can only produce a certain amount of results. Yet we want the secrets to produce better results than what our recipe can command, what our recipe has the capacity to produce. Instead of working on increasing the capacity of the recipe, right? Instead of working on the certainty of the skills of the coach, most coaches try to outperform their inadequacies. And if you are concerned about your ability to do the work that you really want to do, you're not going to market yourself boldly because you don't even believe in yourself enough to get anybody to believe in you over and above your lack of belief, or your lack of belief in the messaging, or your lack of belief in the time that it's going to take for you to be able to quit your job. If there's any kind of uncertainty out there and you are giving off this feeling, this energy of the uncertainty, if that's in the messaging that you have, and inside that uncertainty, you're demanding that you get quick success, or you're just demanding success at all of that is inside the magnet, and it poisons the magnetism. It poisons people's desire to actually follow you, because I think on a certain level, we understand and we can sense the presence of shortcut. So if I am a coach and I'm just trying to shortcut my way into your wallet, I think you'll be able to feel that. And if you think I'm just trying to get your money as fast as possible, and I'm using whatever the psychological tactics are, or whatever the language is, or whatever, if you can feel that, then you're not going to trust me. And if you don't trust me, then you'll never follow me. You're not going to buy from me. You're not going to fall for any of the, any of that energetic shortcut that's in the water, right? That's in the messaging. And so it's the presence of our desire for the shortcuts that messes up our magnetism. Let me be really clear with that. So let me say that again. It's the presence of our desire for the shortcuts that messes up our magnetism. Meaning people aren't going to be drawn to us because they can just smell the desire for the shortcut. Now, the good news is everybody can increase their capacity. It's just most people will choose not to. And again, just to highlight this, the reason most people will choose not to is because they're actually following the right path. It's just uncomfortable, right? The existence of discomfort is a sign for most people to turn around. But the existence of discomfort is the only way for us to grow on the journey. And that's it, you guys. I don't have any more secrets in terms of information than most people have, other than my experience. So can I look back in over 15 years of experience and recognize that when I thought something was going to work, it didn't? And the things that I just threw out there with, without a whole lot of expectations, a lot of times those are the ones that grew to be the biggest, whether it's the biggest video or the highest selling program or whatever the missed expectations were. Yeah, I got a ton in my 15 years of experience that tells me a bunch of information and reminds me that, yeah, I'm not really certain about what the next month is going to bring, just like I wasn't certain before April of 2007 when we hit our first $30,000 month. I wasn't certain what that month was going to bring either, but I was operating on ignorance in motion. Ignorance in motion. That's the key. And a lot of the lessons that you get this, okay? What I'm about to say, get this. A lot of the lessons that you need to learn can only be learned inside of ignorance. The biggest lessons that you need to learn, the most powerful muscles that you need to build can only be learned, and those can only be built inside of ignorance, meaning you have to take action when you don't know in order to learn the lessons that you must learn. So if you're unwilling to take ignorant action, then you will be depriving yourself of learning your most valuable lessons. And when you're willing to take ignorant action, you will stop seeking secrets, at least from a place of desperation. And the most powerful secret, if we define a secret as something you just don't currently know, is going to be found on the other side of that ignorant action. When you look back and go, okay, I took action, what did it produce? What outcomes did it produce? How many people watched the video, read the article, clicked on the link? How many people bought the program? How many people gave me feedback? How many people opened the email? We need to know what the outcome was, but we need to do it on the other side of the action. And if you define secrets as information that you just don't know yet, and it's on the other side of the action that's right in front of you, and in order to get to those secrets that you don't know yet, the most important ones, you have to be uncertain about this action right in front of you and go anyway. That is one of the most critical things that I've learned in my 15-year journey, is not just the okayness of ignorant action, but the requirement of it. So it's not just that there will be times when you're uncertain or ignorant about what the future is going to hold. There will be times, and those times are okay. It's not that those times are just okay. It's those times are required. And if you never switch your mind to where you can embrace the idea of, the okayness of, and the requirement of ignorant action, then entrepreneurship is not for you. And I say that with love and advocacy and kindness, because I would rather you not force yourself on a path that you're not mentally prepared for, because the misery along that path, while you haven't changed your mind, is going to be excruciating. What I mean by that is, if you're following an entrepreneurial path and you are not yet a mental entrepreneur, you will be miserable. If you are a mental employee on the path of entrepreneurship, you're going to hate it, because the mentality of an employee, the employee mindset, despises everything about the entrepreneurial journey. So it's not about the entrepreneurial journey. Even if you were to be given the exact right entrepreneurial journey, even if somebody could tell you this will work for you, even if somebody could come to you from your future and go, this is going to work for you, you got to do these videos and you're not going to get anything from it. And then you got to do this and you're going to really hit some bumps and bruises there, and you're going to lose some money over here. Even if somebody were to give you like the 5-year plan and tell you there's going to be a bunch of things that you're not going to enjoy and you're going to lose money here and you're going to lose time here, but please stick with it because 4 years from now, it's going to explode for you. Even if you believed that the journey was the right one, but you haven't changed your mind from an employee to an entrepreneur, even believing that the journey is right, the employee mind will despise every step. And so it will find a way to talk you out of it. It's what the employee mind does. So I wouldn't say this is a secret, but I would say this is one of the most uncommon things that people do, which is to make this shift into an entrepreneurial mind that then makes the path of entrepreneurship. I don't even know which one is right, but the path of entrepreneurship, that's what I'm going to go with. It allows you to embrace it. It still doesn't, like people who are entrepreneurs in their mind, even people that have been doing this for 30, 40 years, they still don't have the ability to predict the future. They've just embraced that it's a process, and they don't take the rejection personally, and they don't take the failure personally, and they can operate inside of the animal called business. And if we don't understand the animal called business, and we don't understand what an entrepreneurial mindset is, then we're just going to hate it. And if we hate it, we're going to quit when we're actually doing the right thing. I think that is as close to the secret in terms of what most people don't do. It's not that it's not available. It's just that most people don't do it. And you can't succeed on the road of entrepreneurship if you won't follow the recipe of entrepreneurship. Right? There's a road and there's a recipe. You got to follow both of them. If you don't follow them, then you can't get what's on the other side of them. And so rather than searching for secrets, my advice is you search for support. You don't need secrets, you need support. You don't need the missing information. You just need the support along the uncomfortable journey. And most people know that, but most people will still choose not to, because most people are on this path of information, right? Most people would pay a lot more for an information product than a transformation product. Most people would pay more to change a process than to change their person, until they understand, usually through a lot of effort that doesn't work. Maybe I got to stop putting all my energy and efforts into the processes, and maybe I need to increase the capacity of the person. And then the processes are so much easier. So what most people don't have, or they don't commit to this adequately enough, is the customization of the entrepreneurial journey. Meaning, what's the entrepreneurial path that needs to be built and followed for you specifically? Not for you generally, not for women who are operating in this one niche or men who are selling this one kind of product. There's no one size fits all. We need a customization because you are a completely unique person. And what you're going to teach is 100% unique. Even if you're teaching a topic that has been taught before, you're coaching people in an arena that has a lot of other coaches in it. Nobody has ever seen the world through your lenses except you. So even if you're going to teach something that a bunch of people have taught, nobody has taught it from your perspective, as long as you stay true to your uniqueness. But if you sacrifice your uniqueness and then try to do something the same way somebody else has done it, well, then you just sacrificed your highest valuable asset, your most valuable thing, which is your uniqueness. You've sacrificed your uniqueness because you want to find the secret that's going to guarantee success in the future. And in doing that, you've sacrificed your most valuable asset, not only in business, but the only thing that could make you happy. I'm going to make this assessment here. I've never seen anybody happy following somebody else's game plan. I've seen a lot of people, not percentage-wise, it's a very small percentage, but I have seen quite a few people become successful financially following somebody else's game plan, just sacrifice their uniqueness and just follow what somebody else is doing, and then just sell that process. And it becomes a game of, just like pass it on almost, right? It becomes almost like a pyramid scheme. I buy this thing and I teach the same thing to other people who need to teach the same thing to other people. And I've found people and met a lot of people who've made money doing that. Never anybody who's been happy. If your uniqueness is not in the recipe, your happiness won't be either. Even if it becomes successful. And I believe when it comes to business, I would actually rather you be unhappy and unsuccessful than unhappy and successful. Because unhappy and successful is actually the most dangerous combination when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your hope, when it comes to your alignment. Unhappy and successful, and I'm saying successful in terms of the tangible, right? The financially successful, the financial success, losing weight, just anything that's measurable. Unhappy and tangibly successful is the most dangerous combination. The real secret is finding a way to stay on the path. The secret most people are looking for is to find another path. I think that is the distinction. So while most people are trying to find the secrets of another path that will lead them to where they want to go, the successful people are investing their time, energy, and money into the support to keep them on the path and get where it is they want to go. That's a complete dichotomy. You can't have them both ways. And so you're either going to be more committed to your growth or you're going to be more committed to your comfort. If you're more committed to your growth, you have a chance at the entrepreneurial game. If you're more committed to your comfort, you don't. And that's just coming from 15 years of experience. So if you want any support in any way, reach out to us and we'll help you in any way that we possibly can. All right, if you like this video, check out that video where I talk about the most critical distinction for your success as a coach. So there are two different lanes, two different paths. Both of them are valid. But if you want to produce the outcome of transformation, you can't be stuck on the path of process.